Hey, everybody, it's Sterling and Linda G.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. Good morning. Top of the morning, Super Bowl Sunday.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I don't know if y'all have been able to go over there and check out Sterling's new YouTube channel. What is it, 9,000?
I think it's now 6,000 subscribers.
Oh, for some reason I'm thinking 9.
So
Anyway,
thanks to everybody.
But for less than a week.
Yeah, thanks to everybody that supported the channel. That's wonderful. And I always said that I would do it if there was enough, demand out there, so that we're providing value. It's, because you dedicate time and effort, as you know, to any channel, Linda. It takes a lot of time. So yeah, thankfully it's 6,000 subscribers. And I think Linda was mentioning this morning that what we'll do is once I reach 10,000 subscribers, for everybody that put a comment, starting off with love in the video on my channel.
On his channel, not my channel.
On my YouTube channel, Sterling Psychic Medium, that what we'll do is we'll pick a winner of a free half-hour reading once I get the next 10,000. So
awesome.
Yeah, thank
you. You're going to do fine, and you're a teacher, which I'm not. So we're not in competition.
No, not at all, not at all. And I don't cook, so I know.
So. Oh, I was talking to Mel about maybe doing some cooking, and he was laughing. We were talking.
Oh, good.
I do like to cook. I wouldn't mind doing a few videos on cooking.
Yeah, no, my idea of cooking, I have the DoorDash app.
Oh, so there you go. There you
DoorDash.
Go. But I cook like my grandma from Mississippi. I throw it together. I never really measure. And it drives my sister nuts because she's an avid measurer, everything. And not me, I just toss it. And why does your stuff turn out?
Yeah. Oh, some of the best cooks, it's all from feel. It's a creative art, right?
Exactly.
So it's all from feel, yeah.
But I was raised in a house, my mother did not like any germs. So, we are always using spoons, either disposable or whatever, to taste it. Wow. We didn't take the thing we're cooking with and taste it like a lot of cooks do. So, yeah. Crazy. Okay, here we go. A lot of great questions today.
Yeah, no, the clients, the audience always does a great job of coming up with great questions. They do.
And don't forget to have me as a guest on your show.
Oh, anytime. The door's open anytime.
It's wonderful. Okay, here we go. But we're not losing this yet, you guys. Until
we'll do this every Sunday.
He's so busy he can't see straight. But for now, you can do questions here. From the other side, oh, I like this. Does David Bowie have a message for us?
He does. And so this is actually driven by a number of people that requested David Bowie. So I actually reached out this week. So interesting, as all these things are, as he started to come through, one of the big things he referenced was a song he did with Queen, which was Under Pressure. Yes. And then as soon as David came through, so did Freddie Mercury, because they actually collaborated on the song.
Right.
So what's interesting about it was a great idea to bring them through, because we had a chat. But one of the things they wanted to highlight was they felt like this time right now, what we're going through as a world, they felt Under Pressure was a great anthem for the world. So I'll give everybody a little homework. Take a look at the lyrics, Under Pressure, because it's all about living under pressure and lots of things coming down on people. But the answer is love, like more love. So you look at the lyrics of the song. So both Freddie and David really want to push that message out there about that being the anthem for today and our time. The other thing was David told me that even though he collaborated on the song with Queen, the song actually came to him in a dream. So even before he actually did the song with Queen, he actually knew it was coming. So I thought that was interesting too. So two great guys.
Two great guys. How did they look? Are they young again?
I almost identical to when they passed. So a few years before they passed, kind of thing, before any disease caught up with them. Yeah.
Did you ever get to meet David Bowie? I know in your
I did.
Was he a nice guy?
He was, yeah, absolutely,
okay.
Yeah.
Capricorn, so Capricorn can be a little standoffish or very nice.
Yeah, my experience with a lot of artists, the big factor for me with a lot of major artists was if they were doing drugs, there was always very difficult people to deal with. Okay. So people that got very angry or had a lot of drama, there were usually drugs mixed in there. Okay. The ones that didn't do a lot of the drugs were much easier to deal with. So yeah.
Okay. All right. So God love you, David Bowie and Freddie Mercury.
Yeah,
I love that movie that they did.
Yeah, very well done.
How does the American public feel about the Republican Party now?
So, in a very simple way, the party's almost divided down the center. So you've got the radical portion and the more rational portion, but everybody, it's almost like Titanic breaking apart. Part of the stern's going down and then the rest of the ship. So the ship is going down, but when it splits, they'll have a more moderate and a more radical portion of the party. So I guess the answer to the question is it's really a very split divide at this point. The good news is there's enough GOP that are now rational that they're going to help with Democratic policies. So,
And MSNBC this morning just released another poll, and 56% of Americans are wanting Trump to be convicted.
yeah, well, I see it. It's going to happen.
Yeah. And also, 76% of Americans want that COVID plan to go through.
Right.
So, they talk about 2022 when we start changing around, and I can see that because lots of times when a Democrat versus a Republican comes in, they'll lose one house or the other.
Right.
I don't see that coming up for 2022.
No, not at all. In fact, I do see a second Democratic presidential run. So the next term we have, will be another Democratic president, and I believe it's going to be Biden.
Yeah, but kept acting like he was so sick, but I don't see him sick. So, okay, here we go. How does the American public feel about, oh, wait, we just did that. Elon Musk, he's an interesting character, has been very vocal about leaving California and moving his businesses to Texas. What happens to the workers at the plant he leaves behind? Does he win his lawsuit against Alameda County?
Yeah, so I think there's some good news here. If I could tell, there's his lawsuit. The one that I recall now, the one that's being brought up to me right now, is the one where he was trying to get the plant open during COVID, and so that's not going to happen. But the good news is that there's going to be a settlement, I feel, with Alameda County, and that Elon will leave some portion of like logistics or supply chain operations around Alameda. There'll be some benefit to the plant. Won't be anywhere near the size it was, but there'll be some benefit that Alameda will get out of it. So it'll all be resolved. But the lawsuit, again, the plant open, that's not going anywhere.
Okay. Will the FBI release the names of the legislators who led the reconnaissance tours on January 5th? They have them on video, by the way.
Yes, because a lot of this is going to spin out of the impeachment trial that's going to be going on in Congress. So there'll be a lot of what I'll call fallout from the impeachment trial. As the evidence and the video comes up, there's going to be a lot of fallout. So, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. I know that's all on video, and I can't help but wonder, are they waiting for Merrick Garland? Is the FBI waiting on Merrick Garland to come in, or?
No, I think we're only just a couple of weeks away from all this getting released. It's just it's all timing, and I think international money vetting. I think we're talking about in the last show. I think there's.
Well, Merrick Garland is up to be grabbed on Monday, so tomorrow.
Right.
What is the real reason Bezos stepped down as CEO from Amazon?
Big reason is one of the simplest reasons is a space race. So Blue Origin is this company that's in competition with SpaceX and with Elon Musk. But not just that, there's also the entertainment industry connection. So they're actually, what I see, what I'm getting is they actually going to buy a major studio. So, Jeff already has Amazon Studios, but it looks like he's going to make a major studio purchase, just the way Disney bought 21st Century Fox that had, 20th Century Fox film in it, and FX networks, and even Fox TV stations. So, yeah. So it's the concentration on new ventures.
What kind of conversation is 45 having with his lawyers with regards to testifying in his impeachment trial?
Well, one of the biggest discussions is, how to perpetuate the lie of the stolen election, but that's not going very far with his attorney. So there's still a big push on for 45 to claim the election was stolen, but the attorneys are not going to push that forward. So
they're just going to say it's unconstitutional.
Yeah, I mean, there isn't an argument there that they'll stand up under legal scrutiny. So,
will Biden be able to remove DeJoy A lot of people are asking that.
Yeah, you know, and I feel that we're only a matter of weeks away before that replacement takes place. I mean, there are some guidelines that normally they follow in the post office, where there's a board of governors or whatnot. But I am aware that what I'm being told is that Biden's just going to streamline that and
Okay.
get in and replace them. So
You know, they said he couldn't touch the Pentagon people either, that Trump had
right,
put in there. He wiped them all out. One of them is suing him, but it's at the pleasure of the president. And the
Mhm.
other thing is DeJoy has a bunch of contempt of courts that he did, so they can get him on those kind of things.
Exactly.
All right. I know DeJoy is going, you guys, don't you worry. How can we find out what our spiritual energy frequency is? How do we know if someone is a high vibration?
So, you know, the term, whoever asked that question, it's a little bit off in that it's not necessarily frequency, but it's almost like a vibrational level. So it's not frequency related per se, but it's almost like energy level. So the more as you try to connect with spirit and then try to bring spirit through, that equates to a higher vibrational level. And normally, I think the question was, how can you tell if people are a higher vibrational level or something
Right,
like that
right.
question? More, a lot of times they'll resonate with you and your spirit. So as people talk with you, you get a certain resonance. And a good example, sometimes you get a cold chill. Somebody tells you something, you get a cold chill, you know, that's a validation through your guide. So there are ways to do it.
Years ago, I had 2 out-of-body experiences.
Mhm.
And I mean, literally blew out of my body. And I didn't like it. In fact, I asked that it not happen again, and it hasn't. But right before I exited, my body vibrated at such a rate. It wasn't a seizure. I was wide awake, and it wasn't an earthquake, but even the bed was shaking right
Mhm.
before I exited. And when I exited, I went through the roof and I'm up above and it's nighttime and I can see and I can feel the chill. But I was like, no, I don't want this.
Yeah, yeah.
But that vibration, I've heard that happens to some people before they go out of the body.
Yeah, and you also, some will feel as you come back in again. So you feel some sort of a shock on the way back in, especially if it's
Right.
not your time to go, and you know you get sent back, so to speak, like not your time, go back. Then you feel that same shock and that
Right.
vibration on the way in. Yeah.
This is years ago when I was a nurse and I didn't want to adventure. I wasn't interested. Okay, how can you tell if someone is a new soul or an old soul?
Couple of key indicators. So with babies, it's kind of interesting. You can almost tell easily with babies when you look in their eyes. There's a deepness to their soul and a wisdom when some babies are born. So you can actually tell. The other thing is that as souls get older, so you know we're talking about people walking around the earth, um, the types of information you receive from those people and whether or not they're susceptible to a lot of drama or things that a lot of people are taking in. There's a certain wisdom you feel from them. So you know this is probably there's a deeper discussion here we would have to have. We don't we'll have in this call,
Right.
but there are certain key indicators, and you know a lot of times babies right away, mothers will look at baby and say, this baby's been here before. That was my mother.
Right.
So
I've
yeah.
listened to a lot of moms saying, oh, that's, or grandmas, that's an old soul right there, you know.
Yep, exactly.
Okay, how do you see the Catholic Church for the future?
I do see a change of popes over the next just couple of years here. There will be a change of popes. And it does look like that with the current pope and then the new one, there is going to be a strong transition towards more of moderate policies and even taking in, you know, more policies that go along the lines of the LGBTQ, right? So it's much more moderate and much more in line with current thinking. But there
Okay,
will be a change over the pope in the next few years here. Yeah.
it's not because the other pope is sick or anything.
No, you know, I was just asking, it doesn't appear because of death. It appears because of something else. Yeah.
Is there a deeper, more spiritual meaning behind all the different blood types? Interesting question.
You know, I guess I wouldn't classify it as a spiritual meaning per se, but it's the way kind of the universe is constructed. So all of those different blood types add to the whole. So as we navigate different diseases and different artifacts of people in their physical attributes, all the blood types play a role. So it's all part of a master plan. So I guess in that way you could say it's spiritual, the universe, it's the way the universe is constructed, but to benefit mankind.
Okay. Oh, that's cool. Fox News has been sued by Smartmatic for $2.7 billion. Will they lose in court and be forced out of business or change their disinformation ways?
Very multi-layered question there.
Yeah.
The Smartmatic lawsuit will be successful, so that there will be fees litigated against Fox. I don't see Fox going out of business. I see them, reconstructing with even some new financing, new ways. Interesting enough, what it is going to do is it's going to push the mainstream media more towards responsible reporting, because at some point, if you can say anything you want and there's no consequences, I get it why people would do that. Now, if you're hit with the billions of dollars of lawsuit, now you have to take it more seriously because they're a corporation, right? So
and you're damaging them. Yep.
So that's the good thing. The other thing that I'm just being told, remember, I think there's a $1.3 billion lawsuit against Giuliani for the other Dominion, for the other, and that's actually going to be successful as well. So
that'll wipe them out.
Well, it'll be a 1-2 shot, that'll kind of reorganize. But this is all part of a larger reset for the earth. So all these things happen for a reason. So,
So they did cancel somebody's show. I never
Dobbs.
Who?
Lou Dobbs.
Is anyone else going to get canceled because of
Yes, there's actually, over the next few weeks here, what I get is there'll be 3 more major departures from Fox. So you'll see it.
Yay! And then what their attorneys are going to do is say, we got rid of the people that told the lies. So take that in consideration.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's like yelling fire in a theater. So you still, so you can't take it back.
Are there parallel universes?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And a lot of it relates to the fact that there's linear, nonlinear time in the universe. And there's also other galaxies that are like billions of light years away, but it all constitutes a number of parallel universes. It does. And it'll all be discovered and figured out. It will
Yay. Be. When you die and you have privy to all this information, you know all this stuff, right? You can.
This is all part of the Akashic records.
Okay.
Right. So everything in the past, present, and future,
it's all there.
All time is in the Akashic records.
Multiple new COVID variants are popping up in the US now. Some of the individuals with the first known cases are stating they've had little or no contact with others and have not traveled outside of the US. How are these new variants spreading, and will the vaccines protect against them?
Good multi-layered question as well. So the way I'll answer one of those first questions is the way it's being spread is it's an aerosol. So the new variants of COVID-19 actually stay and hover in the air for very long periods of time. So the 6-foot rule doesn't apply anymore. If someone sneezed at a location and you walk through it 5 minutes later, you'll walk through that cloud. So that's actually, it's an aerosol. The good news is that a lot of the vaccine technology is going to evolve. And so there will be 4 very stable, vaccine manufacturers here very shortly, with hundreds of millions of doses available. But the vaccines will evolve the way flu vaccines evolved as all the COVID mutations happen. So it's an ongoing moving target.
I'll say. NASCAR is heading to Florida for 3 weeks of racing. Will this be a super spreader? Oh no. Will it hurt the sport?
Well, unfortunately, it's going to be like a number of large events. It will be a super spreader, but it doesn't look like have a direct effect on the sport because for whatever people don't make that connection all the time with super spreader events, just like the larger motorcycle rallies, right? So they were super spreader events, but it didn't necessarily hurt the event or,
Yeah, those will keep going.
Yeah.
Do you see the truth coming out about the former president and his administration and those responsible being brought to justice? That's a large question.
Yes, and I think we answered in part earlier here, but there's going to be a lot of fallout, almost like this quote unquote kind of nuclear fallout per se once this impeachment trial gets going. So that's going to open up a number of other side channels of investigation. So
Okay.
they will be prosecuted, and yeah.
On Sunday, May 22nd, 2011, Joplin, Mo suffered a massive tornado. 2011. Oh, wow. I remember that. Joplin, Missouri, suffered a massive tornado that leveled the south side of town. Local children living in tornado zones say that time they saw what they call butterfly people. Who are the butterfly people? That's interesting. I'm going to look that up later.
Yeah, that is a large group of angels, and what I guess those angels appeared to many people in many locations. So it probably wasn't just around the tornado, but even around other institutional locations like hospitals. But it's funny. What I get is that group of angels that came down is almost like the equivalent of the Angel National Guard. So it's like a group of like fast deploying angels. If there's a national disaster. So they were angels, is what everybody saw.
Wow,
Yeah.
wonderful, wonderful. And the children saw it, which is interesting.
They did, and I feel like a lot of people that were hospitalized saw it too. So
wow.
Yeah.
On Sunday, May 22nd. Oh wait, I just read that. Okay, Illinois Rep. Adam Kinzinger is pushing for the Republican Party to return to a more civil and respectful party and respectful form of conservative politics compared to the extremism that has gripped the party due to 45. Will he be successful in his efforts?
Yeah, he's going to be part of a larger program of almost like GOP. They're going to try to help move the needle back to more normalcy. So he'll have a good effect. But I say he'll be joined by a lot of others. So not just him, but others as well. So yeah.
I saw within 2 years of Biden coming in, the Republican Party sort of sorting it out. And now I just flashed on something. I think that when they lose again in 2022, that's their wake-up call. And they say, we're going to deny all this crazy and we're going to go back to our old selves.
I agree with that. I agree.
Will Tibet ever be a free country again? And if so, how will that come about?
So it won't be in any, it won't be for a number of decades, but it's going to happen because of the evolution of, it looks like several different Chinese governments. So, there's going to be an evolution of the Chinese government from what it is now. It's almost goes through 2 to 3 more cycles, like 3 to 4 decades out before it really starts to become free. I mean, essentially it's free right now and independent, but occupied by China, right? So,
right.
But that occupation will, it feels like about 4 decades out, be minimized.
Yeah. Okay. Will Jim Jordan be reelected to his House seat? He has decided not to run for the Senate, but he'll rerun for the House seat.
Now, I think he just won his seat, so I'm not sure.
So too.
Maybe that question is asking for. Yeah, I don't think it's going to win the next one, but I think he just won the current one, but it will not win the next one. Yeah.
Well, Jim, pets who lose their owner due to death understand that they have transitioned to the other side. Oh, that's a question. Do pets who have lost their owner due to death understand that they have transitioned to the other side?
Completely, as I say, 100%, because they can see them. So, one of the things the animals have the ability to do, and I think more people appreciate this as they spend time with their animals, animals have the ability to see the other side.
Yes.
So they can see pets that crossed over and family members and your grandfather and grandmother and and their owner. So yeah, they absolutely understand.
I did lose a pet that was mine and only mine. Moochie was his name, and he died in right after my mom died. I think it was 2013. I have seen that dog in spirit form twice with my own physical eyes.
Right.
Twice. It was as clear as day.
Yeah, and by the way, when I read people in sessions, many times we bring through animals, so they want to bring through an animal, and as the animal comes through, they're describing a lot of things happening with the current owner. So they're completely, that's transparent, so they see owners that have transitioned as well.
Right. Will there be a breakthrough with the treatment of MS this year?
And the question is whether that will happen this
Will there
year.
be a breakthrough? Yeah.
No, not this year, but like I think we talked about in a number of shows, about 5 years out will be a breakthrough for a number of major diseases like MS. And I feel like within 10 years, maybe even a little faster, we actually will have a deployable treatment for MS. We will, but it won't happen this year.
What do you see for the developing countries that don't have the same access to vaccines? How and when can the rest of the world get more help?
So the breakthroughs for the rest of the world are going to happen because companies like Johnson & Johnson, there'll be new vaccines that won't require extreme refrigeration, minus 70 degrees Celsius or minus 30 degrees. I think the Pfizer is minus 70 degrees Celsius. Yeah. So I think all that's going to happen very, very quickly. But the rest of the world will be helped by the newer vaccines that don't require major refrigeration.
I saw like someone like Bill Gates, that kind of energy. I see groups of people with money making sure that the countries that don't have any get the vaccines, like they did with polio and other stuff.
Also, what I just got is they're going to use a lot of drone technology to drop the vaccines into remote areas. So the areas where you can't get to by vehicles easily, they'll use drones. So,
okay, that's cool. 45 lowered the taxes for the rich and we all suffered for it. Will Biden reverse it, and will it be this year?
Yeah, he'll absolutely reverse it this year, but when I pick up the effects of it, you really won't see them until next year because it takes time for all that to filter through the economy and to tax and all that. So the biggest effects on that the tax break will be 2022.
I had a little flash too yesterday when I was kind of thinking, how come he hasn't reversed? Because he said he would. He would reverse that high. And I realized, with the new payments coming up that goes through the IRS, and taxes are due April, he's thinking it's too much to put on the IRS just yet. He'll change it after this year.
Yeah, but I think also they want to take some time during this year to go through it in detail, so it's not throwing darts at the wall. It's actually a very methodical approach. They got good people
in there. Yeah. Right. What will happen to Ghislaine Maxwell?
Well, the government knows she's a wealth of information on 45 and Epstein, and so she's actually going to come up for litigation. There'll be a trial held for her. But the good news is that, for her anyways, that there's going to be a bartering arrangement so that she'll be able to barter a lot of the information she has in order to move forward other major cases. Okay. So,
I thought he was going to pardon her for sure.
Well, it was, I wish we were all fly on the wall during those legal discussions last week. Yeah.
Is 45 going to survive all the upcoming indictments?
Yeah, and survive, I take that as legally. No, I mean, there's a lot of them are going to stick and follow through. So certainly a Southern District of New York, those cases are going to be successfully put through. So yeah, he won't, if survive him is getting off scot-free. No, he won't get off scot-free.
I didn't feel that either, but I don't know if this Republicans in that right now, well, they're all weird. Anyway.
Yeah.
But don't worry, people, even if he gets off, I saw him sitting before a regular judge at a table. And people are suing him over, or he's getting sued for something and he loses. Okay, why do we sometimes feel the energy of loved ones who have crossed over more than other times?
A lot of the energy of loved ones come around you when you think of them. So very simply, by thinking of them and trying to kind of get within their space, so to speak, they come around. That's why you feel it. So a lot of it's driven off of the person that's thinking about them. Does that make sense? Not necessarily an external, no reason that they just come around. It's you're actually thinking about them brings them around.
Right. When will Puerto Rico get all the hurricane relief funds that 45 withheld from them?
Very soon, very soon. I'm confirming now, and I think I just saw this in the news, that actually the relief package was already approved for Puerto Rico. So now it's a matter of
He was hoping he could put it in his own pocket, but he couldn't.
Yeah, no, but I think it's within even a matter of weeks here that they'll start seeing the money come through.
Oh,
Yeah,
they need it.
yeah.
Will the Dems return to an FDR style New Deal for the 21st century, or will they continue languish in the centrist philosophy that contributed to the political atmosphere we have today?
By the way, it makes me feel like I'm in history class.
I know.
Actually, we're going to return to a New Deal FDR type structure, which means that they're going to be very significant nationwide programs, long-term, large scale. So this is not like a centrist philosophy. It's a full bulldozer approach,
Right.
large program, large scale, long timelines. Yeah.
And when I was doing readings and I saw Biden get in, I said it'll be like a New Deal. He's going to work, and Roosevelt came through.
Mm-hmm.
Told me that's what Biden was going to do. Then I saw Biden talking about it, that he was going to do a New Deal like thing. And that could be the reason why. Remember, Roosevelt got nominated in a bunch of times.
Right.
That could be the reason why Biden's going to win again, and they're not going to be able to get people in there to stop him.
Be a very big reason. And by the way, it'd be a lot of green programs, green technology, green economy programs. They'll be at the heart of like the Biden New Deal. Yeah.
Awesome. Will Lindsey Graham face justice for all his backstabbing he's done for 45?
Yes, because there's going to be some election investigation or things that were done in the run up to this last presidential election. So there's consequences and litigation coming up for him, and I don't see him getting reelected on the next round. So it'll be the end of the last train stop.
Well, we didn't see him get or at least me, I didn't see him getting reelected, and he did. But it's funny because you got to be careful how you ask the question. When they say, is he going to lose? And they say, yes, it doesn't mean it's that time, it's this time. But he's the one that said he wouldn't have a hearing on Merrick Garland. And everybody was furious. Why are you Democrats letting these Republicans, you guys rule? So finally they got their new person.
Exactly. I think that was a layover from the way the committees were structured under 45. And then once they just reorganized the committees, now he has no say in that area. Yeah.
Okay. Why am I the only Democrat in my family? Why would I choose a family completely different from myself? I mean, all of them: parents, brothers, sister-in-law, aunts, uncles, cousins, and even my son.
So, all this has to do with an overall life path and the education you're down here to learn. So all this represents lessons that you believed or people in your life you felt were important to learn the lessons you needed and then to pay it forward. So it's almost considered as part of like a graduate school you're going through. This is what you're learning in the graduate school, and then you take that knowledge and move it forward. That makes sense. So that's the experience.
Is it even about Democrat versus Republican as much as about being human and being not human? Because I'm thinking of 45 Republicans. There's some good Republicans that just
sure. Yeah. But I think you just nailed it as well, is that it's all about that overall life path. That's what you chose as a lesson. So it's not just you chose to be with, radicalized GOP. It's actually, you're going to take that knowledge and help others.
Right. Do you see anything coming up next week?
I do. So, significant moving forward in that $1.9 trillion stimulus package, significant moving forward, rolling it out and getting all that done. I do see many more GOP jumping ship. We saw this months ago, but we're going to see more and more announcing that they can't necessarily entertain all the radical behavior going on. I do see Johnson & Johnson moving ahead very, very quickly on that approval for their vaccine. That's coming up very quickly. And I think overall it's just going to be many more positive steps you're going to see this week. Absolutely. I do see, I think we already mentioned this, but I see more Fox executives over the next, I think you're going to see more announced this week coming up of Fox individuals being, laid off, fired, or sidelined.
Oh, wow. Great. Do you have any information that your guys want to share?
They do. The message this week was simply put, keep the faith. even under very stressful times. Let's say even when you're under pressure, just like David Bowie and Freddie Mercury were talking about, even though you're under pressure, kind of move to the love side of the equation, right? Only, two forces in the universe, love and fear. Make sure you maintain the fear side. So even being under pressure, maintain the love side and keep the faith. So
excellent, my friend.
Yep.
Excellent. So you guys, I'm gonna post how you can get a reading from Sterling, and also his new YouTube.
Yeah, and the website is sterlingpsychicmedium.com, and the YouTube channel is Sterling Psychic Medium. So we keep it simple.
Keep it simple.
Exactly.
So also want to tell you guys on the news, I have to keep my phone on because my son's getting the couch and the doggone furniture company is texting me, not him. Anyway, George Schultz died. I thought he was already dead.
Oh, didn't see
He was
that.
100. He's
Yeah.
from Nixon. He's from the Nixon Reagan days.
Right. No, I remember. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Great
don't
guy.
remember him, but yeah. All right, you guys. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you.
Have a good Super Bowl. Do you have
Yes.
any favorites?
All of the above.
I only watch it for the commercials.
Yeah, and the weekend is doing the halftime show, so it should be spectacular.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Okay.